ducking feds and the police. My niggas get to tripping, we gon' blow the whole street. You ever ran your bag up off a hoe's feet? I'm talking Cadillac seats, yeah.
No shit. They slow down, they wanna stop and stare. Who's that over there? What's he doing? Why he got that car parked there? But you know, I had a one time, you know what I mean? Give y'all the good scenery, the good backdrop. You know, I done got about it. Colorado. I don't plan on going back there anytime soon unless it's just family or something of that nature. But long story short, welcome back to another episode. And on this episode, we're gonna cover the 3 people that's on Colorado's death row. They've been on death row, one since 1993 and the others since 2004. And ultimately, we're gonna start out with the case that happened in 2004 because it's a little more interesting than the one in 1993. But we're gonna cover both of them. And then I got a special twist at the end for y'all of what happened to these cats on death row. I mean, hell of a twist, but y'all stay tuned to the end of the video for that little twist right there. And since we in the month of May now, I'm gonna give out $50, whether it's Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, whatever works best for you. I'm giving out free of charge to the top commenter. So make sure y'all in those comments down below. Let me know what y'all thinking. Let me know what kind of videos y'all want to see. Y'all want to see more of these, more of the Colorado hip hop stuff? You tell me what y'all want to see, and I'm gonna make sure I deliver y'all the best videos possible. But shit, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. On the 4th of July in 2004, here in this park, Lowry Park, which is in Aurora, Colorado, Sir Mario Owens fatally shot Gregory Vann during an altercation at a concert. Sir Mario Owens tried to flee by getting into the passenger seat of his best friend's Suburban, who was Robert Ray. Robert Ray had also attended the concert at this Lowry Park and had been part of the fight that resulted in Vann's death. When Elvin Bell, who was Vann's brother, and Marshall Fields tried to pull Sir Mario Owens out of the vehicle, Ray exited and walked around to the passenger side and shot both of them. Both Bell and Marshall Fields survived these shootings. Owens and Ray then left the park in Ray's Suburban. After leaving the park, Ray yelled at Sir Mario Owens for shooting Vann and asked why he did not just shoot in the air. Owens apparently did not respond. Therefore, after Sir Mario Owens and Robert Ray sought to conceal their involvement in these shootings with the help of Robert Ray's wife, Latoya Saylor Ray, they disposed of certain evidence such as the Suburban, the guns they used, and the clothes they wore, and anything else that might have connected them with the shooting. Over the days following the shooting, Sir Mario Owens and Robert Ray hid in motels and at other friends' houses. During this period, they both learned from television broadcasts that several witnesses had provided descriptions of them and of Ray's vehicle. At least some of these descriptions also noted Owens' braids. Sir Mario Owens thus changed his appearance by shaving his head and removing his braids. In the meantime, with the help of Ascari Martin, who had recognized Robert Ray from high school, as well as Marshall Fields, the police identified Ray as the driver of the Suburban. The police thus arrested Robert Ray, charged him as an accessory to the Lowry Park shootings, and continued looking for the second shooter. Robert Ray was eventually released on bond, and while he was preparing for his trial, he was able to review a discovery packet that his attorney had provided to him. Robert Ray, as well as his wife and Sir Mario Owens, went through this packet of paperwork and learned it was Martin and Marshall Fields who had given statements to the police identifying Ray as the driver. Sir Mario Owens and Robert Ray further learned that neither witness had identified Owens by name. Owens then told Robert Ray that he was going to take care of Marshall Fields so that Ray would not go to prison. Sir Mario Owens also told his wife, or said in her presence, "Snitches ain't shit and they need to die." Several months later, Sir Mario Owens' wife, Saylor, saw Marshall Fields at a club in downtown Denver. When his wife informed Sir Mario Owens that she had seen Marshall Fields, Sir Mario asked why she did not set him up or get him alone so that Owens could come down and quote unquote do something to him. Sir Mario Owens told his wife to call him next time that she saw Marshall Fields. Although Sir Mario wanted to confront Marshall Fields in person, Robert Ray took a different approach. Robert Ray told one of his friends, Jamar Johnson, that he was trying to offer Martin and Marshall Fields $10,000 to prevent them from testifying, but if that did not work, then Ray would pay Johnson $10,000 to kill them.
Several months later, Ray again offered Johnson $10,000, this time to kill only Marshall Fields, because by that time, Ray believed that Martin ain't no more or was gone. Robert Ray's belief that he no longer had to worry about Martin's appears to have derived from, or at least was confirmed by, a conversation that Robert Ray had with Martin after a court hearing that Martin had attended. During this conversation, Martin told Ray that he did not want to quote unquote snitch, and that although the prosecution was attempting to force him to do so, he was not going to do it. After this interaction, Robert Ray told his wife that he was not too worried about Martin testifying anymore, and Martin never appeared in court again. Robert Ray continued to be concerned, however, about Marshall Fields identifying him as the driver. And in June of 2005, while his wife was attending a barbecue, Robert Ray called her to ask if she had seen Marshall Fields there. His wife responded that she had. Robert Ray arrived shortly thereafter, and Johnson met him there. The two saw Marshall Fields leave, and Ray told Johnson that he, Ray, believed that Marshall Fields was still planning to testify against him and that he would take things into his own hand. At some point after that, his wife received a call telling her that Sir Mario had been arrested and later released. After Owens was released, he told his wife that the police had seized from the backseat of the car that he was driving t-shirts that Owen and Ray had purchased after the Lowry shooting. These t-shirts said, quote unquote, "Stop snitching, rest in peace." Apparently, the same day that Sir Mario Owens was released, an acquaintance of his, Percy Carter, approached Marshall Fields at a sports bar and told him, quote, "They're looking for you on the street, homie." The next day, which was a week before Robert Ray's Lowry Park trial was to begin, Marshall Fields and his fiancee, Wolfe, were killed in a drive-by shooting on Dayton Street in Aurora. In the weeks that followed, witnesses identified Sir Mario Owens as the person who had shot and killed Gregory Vann at the Lowry Park. Witnesses also provided the police with information about the Dayton Street shooting. With this information, the people charged Sir Mario Owens in connection with the Lowry Park shooting and separately in connection with the Dayton Street shooting. Sir Mario Owens went to trial for the Lowry Park shooting first, and he was convicted and sentenced to life plus 64 years in prison. He then faced trial on 2 counts of first-degree murder after deliberation, 1 count of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder after deliberation, 3 counts of witness intimidation, 1 count of accessory to a crime, and 1 count of aggravated intimidation of a witness arising from the Dayton Street shooting. Robert Ray was found guilty in 2006 of attempted first-degree murder and first-degree assault of Evan Bell and Javad Marshall Fields at the music festival. He was also found guilty of accessory to the murder of another man who was fatally shot that night, Gregory Vann. Ray was sentenced to 108 years in the Department of Corrections for the music festival shooting. Ray later was sentenced to death for his role in the execution of Marshall Fields, who was a witness in the trial, and his fiancee, Vivian Wolfe.
Now that's hell of a case right there. You figure what really happened there, Javon Marshall Fields, they try to have a little music event at the park. Fight breaks out, somebody gets shot. They try to stop the people that shot him. They get shot in the process. And you think about the shooters, right? They didn't even give no mind to this. They just acted on natural emotion. They just raw emotions, right? That's all they did was straight raw emotions. All this shit could have been avoided. They could still have their life. They could still be free. Javon Marshall Fields, his fiance, the other dude, Gregory, all these people could still be alive, but yet all through one raw decision that was incorrect, that was just terrible. I mean, you think about it, they tried to pay these people $10,000 not to testify. You wouldn't even have none of that problem if you were just thinking while you was at that park. Never pulled the pistol out, never shot anybody. If you wouldn't have had the pistol, you would have been good. But as we see, they still locked up. They doing life without the possibility of parole. But the next case we're gonna get into is the Nathan Dunlap case. And Nathan Dunlap was the biggest Colorado massacre shooting before Columbine ever happened. And his case happened in 1993 at a Chuck E. Cheese in Aurora. Let's check that one out real quick.
On December 14th, 1993, 4 employees were shot and killed, and a 5th employee was seriously injured at a Chuck E. Cheese restaurant in Aurora, Colorado. The perpetrator, 19-year-old Nathan Dunlap, a former employee of the restaurant, was frustrated about being fired 5 months prior to the shooting and sought revenge by committing the attack. He fled the scene of the shooting with stolen money and restaurant items. At the time, Chuck E. Cheese massacre was the deadliest mass shooting in Colorado, being surpassed 6 years later by the Columbine High School massacre. Dunlap was found guilty of 4 counts of first-degree murder, attempted murder, and other charges, and was sentenced to death by lethal injection on May 17th of 1996. A judge initially set him an execution date for him in August of 2013, but Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper signed a temporary reprieve that postponed Dunlap's execution date. Nathan Dunlap entered the restaurant at about 9 p.m., where he ordered a ham and cheese sandwich and played an arcade game. He then hid in a restroom at about 9:50 p.m. He then exited the restroom after closing at 10:05 and shot 5 employees with a .25 caliber semi-automatic pistol. Dunlap first shot Sylvia Crowell, 19, who was cleaning the salad bar. She was hit from close range in the right ear and was mortally wounded. Ben Grant was 17 and was fatally shot near the left eye as he was vacuuming. Colleen O'Connor, 17, pled for her life and sank to her knees, but Dunlap fatally shot her once through the top of her head. Bobby Steffens, 20 years old, the lone survivor of the shooting, returned to the restaurant after taking a smoke break outside, thinking the noise he heard from inside the restaurants were children popping balloons nearby. As Steffens walked into the restaurant and unloaded utensils into the dishwasher, Dunlap came through the kitchen door, raised the handgun at him, and fired a shot that struck Steffens in the jaw. Steffens fell to the floor and played dead. Dunlap then forced Margaret Kohlberg, who was 50, the store manager, to unlock the safe. After she opened it, Dunlap shot her in the ear. As he was taking the cash out the safe, Dunlap fired a second fatal shot through Kohlberg's other ear after he noticed she was still moving. The manager who fired Dunlap was not present at the restaurant that night. Steffens escaped through the back door and walked to a nearby Mill Pond apartment complex where he pounded on a door to alert someone that he and others had been shot at the restaurant. Stevens was hospitalized at the Denver General Hospital in fair condition. As authorities arrived on the scene, they found 2 bodies in the restaurant's hallway, a third in a room off the hallway, and the 4th in the manager's office. Crowell was sent to Denver General Hospital where she was declared brain dead. She died from her injuries the next day at Aurora Regional Medical Center. Dunlap fled the scene with $1,500 cash as well as game tokens he stole from inside the restaurant. He was arrested at his mother's apartment 12 hours later. Dunlap was found guilty on all 4 counts of first-degree murder, attempted murder, robbery, and burglary in 1996. On May 17th of that year, Dunlap was sentenced to death and an additional 108 years. During his sentencing, he swore repeatedly in an outburst that lasted for 3 minutes. Nathan Dunlap has made countless appeals from 2008, 2012, 2013, 2018, trying to appeal his sentence, but none of them have actually made any progress. On May 22nd of 2013, Dunlap's execution was put on hold as Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper decided against executing Dunlap or granting him clemency, and instead signing a temporary reprieve in 2013. The reprieve meant that as long as Hickenlooper was governor, Dunlap would not likely be executed. According to Hickenlooper, one of the reasons he did not choose full clemency was because Dunlap would have to remain segregated from the rest of the prison population. Groups including the NAACP contacted Hickenlooper requesting the sparing of Dunlap's life, arguing that the death penalty is disproportionately imposed on African Americans and Hispanics. The reprieve also meant that unless the governor issued a new executive order, the status of the execution and clemency request would remain on hold. Hickenlooper was constitutionally limited from running for a 3rd term.
What's crazy is all 3 of these cats that are on death row are all black, and they all went to Overland High School in Aurora. And, you know, for Nathan Dunlap, that could have been prevented. You know, how and what he thought he was going to do by killing all these people after getting fired. Like, you think about how long that anger just festered inside of him. You know, that could have been a demon inside the man for all we know. But ultimately, RIP to all those people who lost their life in 1993 there. RIP to the other ones that lost their life at that park. And, you know, these men actually never got executed and never faced the death penalty due to the fact that the governor in 2020 commuted all their sentences, their death sentences, to life without the possibility of parole.
Colorado is the 22nd state to abolish the death penalty. Governor Jared Polis signed the bill into law on Monday. Polis also reduced 3 death row sentences to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He said he's amending those sentences not because of an extraordinary change in the offender, but because of, quote, the recognition that the death penalty cannot be and never has been administered equitably in the state of Colorado. The governor said he knows different victims may feel differently about those sentence amendments, but he said the state reached out to the victims and their families and that he hopes his decision provides clarity and certainty for them moving forward. According to the Death Penalty Information Center, Colorado has only executed 1 person since 1997. The new legislation will affect cases for people charged on or after July 1st.
All 3 are still locked up in the Colorado Department of Corrections. Samario Owens, I believe, is in Centennial. I believe Robert Ray is in Territorial, and I believe Nathan Dunlap is in CSP. I don't know if he's ever even got out of CSP, if he's wanted to be out of CSP, if they ran him off the yard. But think about Nathan Dunlap. He's been in one cell by himself since 1993. Think about how many times the world has spun over, how many things in the world has happened, and this man has been confined in one cell by himself, all behind those decisions. And most people say he deserves that. That's where he should be. He should be in a living hell for that, for what he did to those people that can't come back, right? But you think about it, all this off of bad decision making. You know, people make bad decisions every day with pistols and guns in the hood, drinking, smoking. The summer's coming up. All these scenarios, especially at the parks, can play themselves out again, and they typically always do every summer, every year. Nothing new under the sun, right? But it can't be prevented. And you think about the hardships that all these people got to face now. I mean, good Lord, these people would trade anything to go back in time and change their decision making so that they could still be out here and be free.
What's about to happen tomorrow? To be able to share this experience. These are memories my family gonna be able to, if I never get out, these are memories they gonna be able to live with. Of seeing me when I was at my greatest. You know, I didn't graduate on the streets, so I could put on a cap and gown in front of my mama.
Life don't work that way. They've already made these decisions. These actions are permanent in the course of life, and they got to pay those dues while they still here in the flesh, living and breathing. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts down in the comments. Do y'all think this is just, you know, like, I mean, damn, all 3 from Aurora all went to the same high school? Y'all think that's just by chance, or you think there's something in the water in Aurora? Let me know your thoughts down below. But to the next one, I'm out.